Well, hello again. It's been a while since my last video, like maybe a week. I'm going to try to make some improvements over my previous video. I'm going to use a larger font so that it's easier to follow along on my 1080p screen. And speaking of high definition, I was streaming in 720p. Actually, the problem was I thought I was going to be streaming, so I set the resolution. Actually, OBS set it to 720p. But the point is, I've bumped it up. It's going to be 1080p. Also, 2004 called. They want their idea of high definition back. Oh, and I think I'm going to be writing some code. Just to recap, in my previous two videos, I reviewed the code. It has been several months since I reviewed the code, so I've already forgotten everything about it. And the second thing is, I made it so that it would compile. And I've also forgotten how to do that, but that's okay, because I will probably cut the part where I said I forgot to make myself look awesome. Let's start by running this thing. We're going to max this panel size so we can actually see it on here. Okay. We're going to start with exhibition, just to recreate the bug that we had last time. I hit 1 and I hit enter. It skips right over the entry for the first combatant, straight to the second combatant's name. We'll call him Joe. Joe wins. Awesome. How did Joe win? Lots of blanks. So I think the first thing we need to fix is that blank name entry. Let's hit a 0 and get out of here. So we do a cin get line. The option is also a cin. Why are we doing... We're doing a get line here and then we're doing a pipe here. What if we change this to a cin get line? And we only want one character because it only takes one character. So we'll do that. And why does it not like that? Because this is a character. And this is a string. So I've learned about the standard get line, which maybe is what we want to use here. We might do the same thing here. Doesn't like it. What do you want to do? Oh, I just made RAM more expensive, guys. Oh, maybe I didn't. Okay. Maybe I can still do this. Maybe I don't need that part. Let's see if I just use standard cin comma opt if that fixes the funky. If I hit 1 and enter, we're on the first combatant's name. So it's capturing cin captured the line and allows you to name Jim and Bob separately. There's still something going wrong here. It looks like we have a different issue, but we have fixed the bug of skipping the next prompt when you use cin. So let's check out any other uses like that because we might have to do the same thing a few times. Dang it. Did it again. It's almost like there should be a common function to handle the input. Or maybe this is the common function. I don't really know yet. The standard library function might be better than trying to roll my own. Rolling my own would still consist of using the standard library function. It would just be done in a way that, well, I don't know if I have a continuation for that statement. I'll just keep moving on. All of the cin pipes, all the cin streams were handled. All 18 references to cin are, well, here's the first one. I may as well make it to match the other ones. So yeah, there's my commit history. Here's my modified file, fight.cpp, with 1, 2, 3, 7 lines changed. All the cin pipes to opt have been replaced with a get line. We fixed one class of bugs, I hope. Steve beats Roger. Got it. Okay. What is happening here, though? I could put in both the names. The name thing is bugging out. And somewhere in here, if I go to way down here. So I'm looking for the, I might actually have to change how the attack list works. Cone hits %T with a baseball bat. That's the format. Attacker with statement, and then the statement is we're replacing %T with the defender's name or the damage recipient's name. Let's see what we have here. We have the action of the fighter versus the defender trying to hit the defender somewhere between here. State in the name. Random attack. Wow, it's like right in the middle there, and I'm like over. Oh, maybe it's up here. Maybe it's down. Nope, right here. Random attack. F12 brings us straight to it. So we have the character array representing who is being attacked. I am going to have to refactor this, I think. I might have to change all of these character arrays to strings. But for now, let's see if we can sort out what is happening here. And if I hit back, it brings me back to, we wrote the offender name. If we look here, we're not actually writing the offender name. Why are we not? We're not writing the offender name in either case. Actually, what's happening is it looks like there's some kind of overwrite happening. Like it's going to the beginning of the line and overlaying it with the damage message. So that's something that used to work. And because this is done as a void, I am actually going to change this. I'm going to change this to return a string. And I'm going to use some primitive string concatenation. We'll say, because I don't remember how to do this in C++. It's probably a fancy way to do. It doesn't, I think because of the nature of this, we're going to have a string that we just start with like this. Output equals, and we'll say output equals attacks. Ooh. It's probably a fancier way to do this in line, but we'll say output. We have the string up here. We still have a problem where we're not returning random attack. So where we're doing standard cout, we're going to say string. And did I start with an empty string at least? Okay, good. Ooh. Oh, it's not string. It's output append. Output append ch. This is actually, what do we got? Ch. It's a single character. Oh crud. Can I just do plus equals ch as a single character? Seems to be okay with that. This function was like, it was doing the cout, so that's one side effect, is messing with the file. That's not really a side effect so much as it's a dependency that's just kind of baked in to the function. But the main thing is I'm trying to fix this to return a string instead of printing to the console out, which is good because that gives us some flexibility to use it, the random attack elsewhere. So we'll return output here. So that's the first thing. Now we got to go to use, what's wrong here? I think because I have the declaration way up here for rand attack, we're going to change this to string rand attack. That I think will make it happy. Yes. Okay. So here we have the action, and now we're just doing this thing. We'll just declare a string. String attack equals rand attack, and we're going to just throw attack in there like so. Right, of course. Let's see if it'll work. Okay. Again to the exhibition. We've got Itchy's a jerk. Also, that didn't fix it. Dang it. But the work was not done and completely in vain. I think it's still worthwhile that we change that to return a string, regardless of the ultimate effect of it. Now we've got the attack here. I think what we need to do is build the string like so. And just drop this line entirely. So here we have the building, the setting of conditions, and then the string building. That makes sense. I think there may be something interesting going on here, potentially with the offender name, maybe it containing the null terminator or something that's causing the string to eat itself. But I think what I'm going to try to do, because the attack doesn't end with a null terminator, does it? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe there's a new line, a carriage return without the line feed. I think that's exactly what's happening. We're ignoring new line. We're not ignoring the carriage return. I feel like just by the nature of Unix, if you do a new line without a carriage return, it still goes to the beginning of the line thanks to Windows using both carriage return and line feed. We get to have two characters representing a line change in our Windows environment, which may be what's happening in this file. If I go to attack list, it indicates CRLF. And if we look at how the lines are being rendered here, everything in this string comes after the line in the text. So what I had changed so far was I combined these two bits of text, which is something I might want to do someday, but I think today is not that day. I think I'm going to discard this particular change. I'm going to revisit the attack list. And in the attack list, the random attack, I'm going to ignore or possibly even replace. It says break. So we're appending. So this is the part where we look for the flag. We have this escape character with the percent, and we set a flag for that. And I think we define that up here as an integer. And that should really be, well, there might not be a concept of bool in, why wouldn't there be? Of course there's a concept of bool in C++. But I think it still goes at 0 and 1 anyway. So let me see, false. This is a tangential edit. Let's make sure it still kind of works. It is. You can't really prove it out because it's all chopped up anyway. But anyways, I'll just throw it in there because there's no reason for that to be an integer. Why is it P flag? Oh, because it's percent flag. I see. How do I do this? Right click, rename symbol. Perfect. This is escape active. And what does that do to our stuff? Is escape active? Okay. Let's go with that. Specifically, in rand attack, change int p flag to bool is escape active. Commit, and we are going to get rid of that carriage return. And we'll do that. And I bet that'll fix it. Exhibition. We'll do itchy and scratchy again. Yeah, itchy still wins. And look, it's fixed because we got rid of the carriage return. Oh man, I did not anticipate that class of bug. I should have because we switched from Windows to Linux. But that's what it's supposed to look like. Small little bugger. Tosses Bigger Itchy for 3 points of damage. Now that's impressive. By golly, Bigger Itchy's tossed Scalding Hot Coffee at Itchy for 3 points of damage. That's great. Alright, let's commit this. So all we have is just one line that says, ignore carriage. Now, if I were to try to run this back on Windows again, I don't know. Windows might be smart enough now where it sees a new line, like a line feed, and says, okay, that's good enough, and just goes with it. I think with Windows 11, they kind of got looser with that. Like Notepad actually works with files that only have line feeds now. But this is all about ignoring carriage returns in the moves file. So then really the question is, what is the correct way to handle that? How do you detect the correct line ending for the given operating system? Is that something that's possible to do in C++? You know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because this is the middle of the line. It's not supposed to be a line ending. Okay, I actually want to change my commit message then. And as a matter of fact, I'll go so far as to say, oh, I'm in nano? Ew. Ew. Actually, that's probably for the best. The move string pulled from the file shouldn't contain line endings at all. The original code was naive and assumed only a line feed. Now if I git show that, for those of you not familiar with the git commit process, the amend will take, if you have files that are staged, it will take any staged files and add it to your commit, or you could take advantage of the amend with no additional files staged and change the commit message in case you have a typo or something in there or want to correct your description. I would say we effectively have fixed the exhibition and the core fight mechanic, at least insofar as how it renders on the screen. We also know that the maximum length of a fighter name is 20 characters. 20-something McGillicuddy. I broke it. We didn't even get to put the second combatant's name in there. So it got up to the G, 14, 16, 18, 19, and null terminator. So that's 20. And that was enough to break it and screw up the second combatant's name. Could we buffer check the input? Let's quit out first. I keep forgetting to quit out. I feel like that's an important step. Always missing it. Uh-oh. Oh, I really broke it. I broke it good. Control C. Okay. Wow, I broke all inputs forever. And you know what's crazy? We take their names. The logic for taking the name is probably repeated in like 4 or 5 places. Maybe I'm smarter than that. Okay, well yeah, see? That's 2 places right there. Okay. Which means there's at least 3 of these that need to be fixed. Let me see if there's something I can find on C and get line. So, when the string is too long, there's a fail bit that gets set according to Mr. Andrew Skeeve. So let's go with it. We'll do a cin clear right after that, and we will see if that works. Good golly, cin clear. And I'm going to have to do that every time there's a cin get line. Oh my gosh. Could I... Because this is spitting to a character array, right? Alright, let's just find all instances of this and see if we got to do something. Here's another one. We're taking 21 characters. Oh, that's interesting. Why is it 21 characters here? That seems entirely arbitrary, but let's do cin clear. What does cin clear actually do? Resets the error state. That's all it does. We are definitely going to need a common function for this. I'm afraid I'm going to have to declare one. I think I want to get the string from the line and truncate it to the desired size. If I do that, then I still have to figure out how to truncate the string to a character array. Oh, it doesn't like that because missing initializer. I guess I could do this. and there's no definition found. So it's a character pointer. This may backfire in spectacular fashion. Yeah, I don't feel good about this. I don't feel good about any of this. Here we have a explicitly sized character array. And then the other two references are, this one actually could take 26 characters because it tacks on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Interesting. Same thing here. Actually, did you notice that there are two different inputs for the file, save and load? Yeah, alright. We will go with this signature and I will deal with the consequences later. Where the hell do I want to put it? Probably a good idea at some point to break this into separate files. I think the actual code itself is going to need a whole lot of finessing before we can even get to that point. So there's all these career functions that are tacked together or grouped together pretty closely. There's a string upper that's up here, but you know what? This is probably a good place for it. Nearby the other guy. So we'll do character. What the hell was it again? And this is what it looks like. We take a chunk of code like this where we do get line, but we're actually going to write it to a string first. We'll do get line, a standard get line with cin as the iStream parameter and buffer as the string. I think we have to factor in the null terminator, so we'll do greater than or equal to length. And we'll do some work in here. That's not how you use string copy. I don't like this because we need to initialize it. Something like that. I have to get rid of this. There we go. +1 for null character. So actually, rather than -1, we want to use +1. So yeah, okay, because the string is going to be cut down to, you know what? Let's go with that. Okay, so output, comma, buffer C string. Do not modify. I love that. Do not modify or dire things may happen. All right, so here's the ... in the underpants gnome profit scheme. How do we truncate a string? Is it as simple as buffer truncate? Substring. Makes sense to me. Starting from 0, the length -1 to allow room for the null terminator. We'll even say so. Here we are getting the input. And so up here we've got player1 name. Can we do this? Player1 name equals console input namelen. What's wrong here? Oh, you know what we gotta do? We gotta do a string copy. So player1 name, comma, and we'll do the console input on the right. Oh, well, I feel like this is an important comment, you guys. We gotta leave this in here. Alright, we'll do the same thing here. String copy. Then we don't need the clear. Or we don't need it here at least. We could figure it out universally somewhere else, at a later time. So here we're going to do the same thing. String copy. This is input name, comma, console input name length. But not name length. It's 21 actually. We'll get rid of that. And then we're going to do the same thing here. Input name, comma 21. And you know what would be nice? If this had some kind of comment on it. Like, do I do star star like that? And then it's fancy and reads a line from cin into a character array of the given length. Now we have a description. How fancy do I want to get? Does this work? Okay. All the places where we were doing cin before to a character array are now being handled by console input. And we can see that here. The declaration of console input in the header, the uses of it, first two uses of it, the actual implementation, which may be awful, but we'll see how it plays out. And then 2 other uses of it. Okay. Exhibition, Joey, Jojo, Shabadoo. Is that 20 characters? Ah, that's definitely 20 characters. Let's not do that. That should get truncated. Oh boy, that did not work. If I did this normally, right, and tried to debug it, and I typed in a simple short name, does it work? No, it blows up right away. Why is that? What if we do length -2? What's the warning here, first of all? The address of the local variable output is returned. Oh, that's the warning. A segmentation fault is we are trying to use. All right, can I do this? What is that? Oh crap. So this can't generate a string. It has to come from outside. I think that means we have to create, instead of doing a return, we have to do it C style and just have a carry. But we do need to change the signature now that we've done that. Yep. Well, now I really broke it. Okay, so now that I've broken it, name length is really broken here because this should be console input player1.name, comma, name length. We'll just do that. Stop this parenthesis. Have to do that a few more times. What happened here? Oh, nope. I see what happened. Okay. Same deal. Same deal here. We'll do input name, comma 21. Drop that off. This is still freaking out because of the debugger, compiler, markup. Input name, comma 21, and debug. Okay, it builds now. Exhibition, let's do simple names. Tim, Tom. Tom with a capital O. That's okay, because it works. The point is it works. Now, if I do Joey, Joe, Shabadoo, he becomes Joey, Jojo, Shabad, which is perfectly fine by me, because his name was simply too long. And we could still type in the second combatant's name, which is 20-something McGillicuddy, which gets truncated to McG, and it worked. That was quite a lot, so I'm going to stop here after committing what I have done. Yep, we're going to keep that a void. So what did we do here? We added 4 new commits over the course of the past hour or so. We have changed the random attack to return a string instead of printing directly to cout. We changed the nature of the flag in random attack, which seems to be working fine based on the output here. We are ignoring the carriage returns in the random attack list. We truncated the input names. So we have a fully functional exhibition round here. Oh, and of course, we fixed the inputs as well for the names. Yeah, I'm out. That's it. I'm done. Stop filming.